Hello, everyone. Willkommen to the Shakespearean Shrew Abroad. I am your Shakespearean Shrew, Karen Feiner, lover of all things bard. And this is a decorum be damned entrance into all things theater, literature, art, of course, Shakespeare, and Aphra Behn this time around, because today I am talking to Naomi Love playing Helena and Margaret Upchurch playing Florinda. The main characters, women, everyone, jazz hands, uh, of Aphra Behn's The Rover. So, one exciting part about this is that this is our first professional female playwright, right? 17th century, Aphra Behn is the first person who was able to make this her living. And she opens the play with you. She opens the play with women, which for anybody who's read a lot of Shakespeare and 16th century and even 17th century plays, you know that's a big deal. So I am so excited to have our all girls podcast discussion and kind of break down some of that. Thank you both so much for joining me today. So excited.
And Women's History Month too.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, first question is, when you first read The Rover, what was your response to the production?
Well, I really enjoyed all of the twists and turns of the play. I think it creates there's like fight scenes and there's romance, but there's also like some serious things that happen. And I think it really creates, I'm excited to perform it for an audience because I think it'll be a really exciting theatrical experience because of all of the different things that happen within the play.
For me, when I was first told that the play we were doing was The Rover, after looking it up on Wikipedia, I went to see if our university's library had it, and they did, but the script that we're using is a cut version of the show. So I've read both the full-length play, and then I read that first, and then the cut version. Yeah.
So the full length.
Yeah.
How was that response? Because the new version, I've gotten a chance to look at that one, and he cut a lot of what Lance called the oogie parts of the play.
Sure. I feel like with the context of it being written in the 1600s, the men are seen as like redeemable, but if we put that into our modern day context, they're really not that redeemable. And I think that with the lens, like, he didn't want to have every single guy in the show be a horrible, evil person. I think he wanted some goodness in there and some happiness. Maybe some redemption arcs instead of instead of them all just the audience hating them, you know.
Yeah, we were joking around because I looked at the last time I read The Rover was in undergrad. And so I went back because I keep all of my books from undergrad, grad school, etc. And so I went back and I was looking at my footnotes in The Rover, and it's like, yuck, gross, ew, absolutely.
Especially my character Florinda, she goes on a journey, that girl. Like, oh my gosh, you think she's caught a break, right? And no, she hasn't. And that's with the cuts, like, we've cut quite a bit of her trials and tribulations. So she deserved that happy ending because man, oh man.
Can we talk about the fact that there's like 3 of them cornering her, trying to rape her, and then they're like, oh, we thought it was okay because we thought she was a whore. Like, that's where the miscommunication is. Not the fact that they tried to rape her, just the fact that they tried to rape someone who was wealthy and had status and not.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we thought she was just some servant, so it was okay.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my no moments.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the fact that she met Belleville because of like him saving her from rape
Yeah.
before. I'm like, oh my gosh, calm yourself. It's bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yes. So she gets, there's an attempted assault 3 different times throughout the production. And then, of course, the 4th one, which is pre-story, where that's where Belleville rescued her the first time. So how
Yeah,
do you feel about the relationship between her and Belleville?
like just in general.
Is in general, in terms of, I have a mixed relationship with that, with them as a couple,
Right.
because he saved her the first time and the
Hmm.
second time. But like, so there's kind of this pattern that exists. So
Yeah.
I'm curious what you thought about their relationship.
Well, you can, I mean, there's always the stance that's like, is she only in love with him because he was there when she needed him to be, and then there's also the she's being forced, not forced, but I mean forced into marriage by her brother and then by her father. They both want her to marry 2 different guys, and I mean she's struggling with that, and she's in love with Belleville, and so there's just a lot of that happening where she wants one thing for herself, but she has to go against her brother and father's wishes for that. And so I think there's a lot of circumstances that can make it more like of a love relationship than it actually is.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where my hesitation comes in a little bit. I mean, I have to play it like I'm just love this guy, but I mean, as like Margaret, I am a little. I mean, you can see it from both sides, I think, in this situation and in this play.
Yeah, she's our DID, right? She's our damsel in distress.
Yes,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
she's also the most active. Like, she is the one who keeps trying and
Hmm.
pursuing and taking action.
Well, she like goes into, I mean, she disguises herself in this setting that is not comfortable to her at all to find him again. So there's also that where it's like, well, she clearly knows what she's doing and this is something she's choosing to do. So to and it's really outside of her comfort zone to be with this man that she loves. So I mean, there's also that where you have to respect that. I mean, like look at her go.
Yeah. I mean, and there it is, because like you've got the damsel in distress on one end, but then again, Belleville kind of seems, he tends to mope a lot. Where he's like, oh, I'm not eating the grilling boy. And like then he sits off on the side and mopes. And she's sitting there being like, well, I'm gonna break out of my house, and then I'm gonna disguise myself as this, and then I'm gonna do
Yes.
this. And you're just like, Belleville, like, pull up your game. Let's
Yeah.
go.
But then he's always there when she needs him.
Too often though. And there's, a lot of his friends, which is also disconcerting.
I'm like, who are you surrounding yourself with?
It's very Two Gentlemen of Verona, the same kind of feeling of Two Gentlemen of Verona, for those of you who have read that one. It's it's Shakespeare's first play, and it's definitely got the most problematic relationships in terms of men and women. Where it's like, oh, I'm in love with this woman. And then his friend's like, oh, I too am in love with this woman because you're in love with this woman. And now I'm going to try to, accost her. And then it comes to the end of like, oh, let's still be friends anyway. Apologize. And that's like the same feeling you get at the end of this one where you're like,
Mhm. I'm like, oh, wait, that's a good ending? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Apologize, not
Okay.
accepted. We'll talk about Wilmore in a second, Naomi. But so many of the characters in this play, not just the two lovely ladies who take up the first opening scene. But many characters have their own plights, their own trauma. What character in the play do you feel the most empathy for? Is it your character or is it somebody else? And Naomi, we'll start with you.
I mean, oh gosh. First of all, I have empathy for none of these men. However, out of the two sisters, they both have really they both have really big struggles, and I feel like it's so hard to say, oh, like who has it worse, who I have more empathy for, because I feel like when you consider the time period, those are kind of the two worst options, is like getting forcibly married to some old guy or getting forced to, become a nun when you don't want to, right? Like she hasn't even lived her life. She hasn't gotten a chance to, and I it's also really weird, the whole reason why her brother wants her to, like, or her family wants her to become a nun, is because they're like worried about her virginity. They're like, oh, I don't want to have to think about her losing her virginity, so and like she seems like the type, I can't worry about this, she's got to be a nun. So
Oh my
You're
gosh.
the wild child.
yeah, apparently, yeah, which will be really fun, really fun. Just let this girl live her life. I mean, God forbid she wants to have a little fun. Or marriage.
How about you, Margaret?
Um, well, I don't know if I necessarily am like, oh, that girl deserves better, but I find the character Angelica really interesting. Just because I think that she has a lot of layers to her, and then I think she's done dirty by Wilmore for sure, and she gets her revenge for sure, but um just she's lied to and deceived by him, and I feel bad for her for that. And but I mean, a lot of the choices are her own as well that she makes throughout the journey, so I think she's kind of complex, and I'm interested to see how um one of my best friends, Georgia's playing her, so I'm really excited to see how she does it. I think she's gonna have a lot of fun with her, and I think she's also gonna make you feel sympathetic for her, but also um, just she's a complex character. She's layers, she's an onion.
Well, I agree, though. I love Angelica, and I think
Hmm.
Aphra Behn loved Angelica too, because she's the one she changed the most from the original character that Thomas Killigrew
Hmm.
wrote in Tommaso,
Yeah.
because I think she really responded to Angelica's plight. Her husband got killed, and so as a woman who has already been ruined, right, she doesn't have very many options,
Yeah.
especially as a woman out of her own country who, is put in this position. So becoming a prostitute is the way that she has the most agency over her own body, which is
Hmm.
crazy to think about. Uh,
Yeah. And yeah, and I find I'm really excited to play into I think Florinda's kind of a foil for Angelica, and I'm really excited to play into that because I mean, they kind of have similar, um, uh, not arcs, but things that they go throughout the play, or just like they kind of are confronted by the same issue. So I think it'll be really fun to play that up because they're such different characters, and their goals are different. So yeah.
yeah. And I mean, that's what Aphra Behn writes so well because that is who she
Hmm.
is, right? She got
Yeah.
married, supposedly, hypothetically, maybe. Her husband died in the plague, maybe. Or she made him up, which is also a very big
Yeah.
hypothesis for her, because she needed to give herself some kind of control as a woman. Because as a woman, if you didn't have a husband, you couldn't even own land. You couldn't own anything. And so she's creating this identity for herself as, Mrs. Behn. And as a playwright, she was considered a prostitute, no better than a prostitute. Alexander Pope called her a fallen woman, because again, like that's how the perception was. So it's very interesting, the very thin line that she creates between virgin and whore for the women in her play. All of the women in the play, I feel like, are,
Yeah.
everyone walks a fine line.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask about the characters that got no sympathy from you, but I think you've already kind of.
Most of the guys, most of the men.
Yeah.
All of them are just, I'm confused. Why is that your choice? Why is that your path? I don't understand. And I do like, though, that all the female characters don't really let themselves, I mean, they don't fall for it, and they don't really forgive it. I mean, it's I find that really interesting, especially for the time period. Like the play can forgive them, and the other characters can, but you don't really see them rewarded when it comes to the women, if that makes sense.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like there's kind of like a battle of the wits constantly going on with the different couples, and I feel like the men just they just want the leg up in this play, especially Wilmore. I'm really thinking about that scene where it's like he discovers that he figures out that Helena, I don't know. I should probably know how to say my character's name, actually. Okay, cool. Right, we haven't started rehearsals yet. Helena, I'm gonna go with Helena. I feel like that's how it's spelled. She is disguised as a servant of herself, essentially, and when he figures out her disguise, he then tries to like play a trick back on her by still pretending he doesn't know who she is and like talking about her and saying like, oh yeah, that girl, she's so ugly, I never loved her. And I'm like, first, I agree with Margaret. First of all, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, you're supposed to love this girl, so why are you trying to like get a one up on her and like prank her right now? Like, how would this be helping your case at all?
Power dynamics, man.
It's the power dynamics that are really interesting.
That's like,
yeah,
Helena, however we want to say it, tomato. She is, I think, the biggest badass in the play. There's definitely some badassery going on in terms of her using, because as much as Wilmore, and as much as many people want to say that Wilmore is the Rover, I think that a huge argument could be made that Helena is the Rover in this play. That
hold up.
No, girl boss.
She has the best lines. Like, so I actually took out one of my favorites because I love this line. So she says to Wilmore, "Why must we be either guilty of fornication or murder if we converse with you men? And is there no difference between leave to love me and leave to lie with me?"
Wait, that's actually, and the thing is, it's sad because some of the things that happen to them and the lines they say and everything that they're fighting against is very timely. It holds up, and you're like, oh, I don't like that.
I agree. Like the first one, Wilmore's drunk when he first accosts Florinda and is like, "Oh, I was so drunk, I didn't realize, like, my bad."
And it's the thing where it's like she's wearing a mask, and so you are like, you're wearing a mask, so it's okay.
What are you doing out at night this late? Like, obviously you want something if you're out this late without a chaperone. Like, it's your fault. And like, Then the next one is you looked at me. Oh, but you were staring at me. You want me. I saw you looking at me. Must want me. And then the third one is you walked into my room and I'm undressed. So
I'm
really,
judging.
you brought this on yourself. And you're just like, why did this all sound so familiar?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
We're all like, oh God.
We're gonna finish that table read. We're all just gonna be like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
I know.
This was such a long time ago. Oh.
Yeah. Oh my
And I
gosh.
feel like all of the men in the cast, like actors, they're all really tall. I can't think of
No,
anyone.
they are. I think Chris is kind of short, but like Stone
Short.
is really tall. Jesus is really
Yeah.
tall.
Gideon's
Carl's
6'1".
tall.
Carl's tall. Stone is tall.
Oh. And Naomi, how tall are you?
4'11".
Okay, I'm 5'3", so it's gonna be quite the.
I sat next
George
to.
is like 5'2".
How tall are you, Margaret?
I'm 5'3",
Oh.
but I can't. Yeah, it's cute. And then George is 5'2", so we're all just gonna look
I love
like
this
it's.
for her. I think
Yeah,
Vivi's kind of short too, isn't she?
yeah. I think we're all. It's
Yeah.
gonna be quite the disparity. I think.
I kind of love that.
I was
Mhm.
seeing the importance of being earnest back in January, and this was like literally the day that the cast list had been posted, or the day after, I think, because it was on SharePoint on Thursday. And Lance was sitting across from me, and I happened to be sitting by Carl because I came in with Stone and their friends. And then Carl looks at me and he's like, "Aren't you the one?" And I was like, "Hey, wait, you're the one. Hey!" And then Lance was like, "Yeah, become friends because you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of each other." We did a little fist bump, but I haven't gotten to act with him at all yet, so I'm excited.
I was a swing with Carl, and then I just finished a show with Chris, and then I have class with Stone, so I know all of them actually pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a different array of people than I would typically work with. Just because I think we're all such different like personalities, I think, and acting styles. So I'm really excited to kind of just mesh all together.
And I feel really special. I don't know if you know this, Karen, but the way that the cast was casted was Lance like handpicked specific people. So there was no like audition process.
Was it based on your readings for a previous production?
No,
Or?
I'm pretty sure he said that it was based on what he saw when we did our School of Theater audition back in November. He was like, "Yeah, the staged readings, the ones where I'm picking, are gonna be based on what I saw in that room."
Oh,
yeah.
I was under the impression that it was from our Ernest callbacks, but I also didn't think it through because I don't know if everyone got an Ernest callback.
I know. I was just about to ask you if you got an Ernest callback. Well, I know in the audition room, she didn't tell me this until later, but the assistant director said that he mentioned that, oh, okay, a lot of these people, I can see them doing really well, and even if they aren't cast in this, I have them in mind for these upcoming staged readings, because it was Dead Girl USA and then this one that are the two part of the On the Edge, I believe is what it's called, the staged readings that we do here. Yeah.
So have either of you done a staged reading, a dramatic reading before, or is this your first one?
I have I did one freshman year that was a senior capstone. It was called Being Enough, and the student who wrote it, Amethyst, has graduated now, but they're great, and they still work in local theater. They were just in The Curious Incident at Potet Theater. It was like about a robot who was like an android. It was really interesting. I just was reading the stage directions. I was a little freshman, but yeah, that was the only one that I've done, I've seen a lot with the Jewish Theater of Oklahoma, where I have my internship, because all of theirs are staged readings. So I think I have no idea how much is going to like go into this when it comes to like costumes and set and props and staging, because it could be super minimal or it could be like to the
Has he
full
told you about the
extent.
setting and everything? Has he explained the setting
Yeah,
to you all?
it's in the script. I think it's Florida.
It's Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah,
Yeah.
on like the
Okay.
1985
first
spring
page,
break.
yeah, because it says like it's like a photocopy of the original script where it says like the location, and then underneath it he wrote or spring break with college students. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done a staged reading. I don't even know if I've really watched one. I mean, I've like obviously I know what they are. I've seen them. But I don't know. I've never like sat and watched one. So I'm really excited because it's something I've never done before. And also I'm curious about like how rehearsals are gonna work and everything like that.
There's not very much
Because
time for rehearsals. That's
no,
we get a
so
week.
yeah, week. But I mean, we're there for every night for 4 hours, like school theater, so we'll get a lot of hours in, but it is a quick turnaround. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and so our first rehearsal's on a Sunday,
yep,
and
Easter.
oh,
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't know. I guess Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we go up Friday, and then Saturday,
Mhm.
and then our Sunday matinee, and then it's over.
Yeah. And then our fun fact, our School of Theater auditions for the first two shows of next semester are on closing day. So we have a matinee and then we're auditioning at like 6:30.
So yeah, we got an assigned time by Paige, who runs like literally every School of Theater show. And
Yeah.
she's like, I emailed her to confirm because there's a couple different shows that have conflicts, so she gave us all assigned times, and I was like, are we still gonna sign up for a time within this block? And she says, no, I'm gonna assign you an audition time. So, but we know it's gonna be after 6:30, and this matinee's at 2 p.m.
Nice.
It'll be a
I'm
little
also
warm up.
in a directing scene that morning too. So, yeah.
Wow.
Might be under pressure. So talking about auditioning, I think it's really funny what you were talking about being kind of handpicked, because when I was talking to Lance and interviewing him, I mentioned you and I was like, I saw that Naomi's in this. And the only character I've seen her play before is Lydia, who she was brilliant as Lydia.
Thank you so much.
But I was like, Helena. And he was like, yeah, she's like, Naomi's as puckish as you can get. And I was like, oh, I can totally see it now.
I have played Puck before, actually.
Oh,
6th grade. Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream. That was me. I was Puck.
Yeah,
little
he's like
Oh my
the
gosh.
nunliest of nuns. And I was like, valid. Okay. So when you go into these auditions, so you're coming up on your next audition series and all of that, how do you help the director see what you're capable of? What do you think about doing as you're doing these auditions that would kind of help you stand out? Or do you just kind of put your cards out on the table and just, throw
I
out what you got?
I will say it depends on the director. I know that everyone is like, oh, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to think about what the director wants, whatever. I still do it. This is gonna make me sound. Hopefully, this doesn't get taken in the wrong way. But I know what different directors at the school want. So, like, for example, when I talked to Dr. Amy, when I did an audition a couple years ago and I was asking her for feedback, she was really impressed with the fact that I chose monologues that are from shows written by the same playwright as the show I was auditioning for. And I'm pretty sure Hal also appreciates that. But when I had a meeting with Lance to get feedback after my Importance of Being Earnest callback, he was like, I noticed you did that. It was very clever, but do you actually love these monologues? And I was like, taken aback. I was like, oh, I don't know, do I? I didn't. Spoiler alert. It was strategic.
Yeah.
And so he has encouraged me to, for this upcoming audition, instead just choose really rich story monologues that I love rather than what I think the director's looking for and what I think the would fit the character. What I think would make me look good. Like, ooh, they're gonna see that I chose a monologue from the same playwright. They're gonna see that I know my stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Take a different approach this time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How about you,
Yeah.
Mark?
For me, I struggle with finding monologues. It's just not my forte. I've gotten a lot better at it throughout the years, but I went to a high school where I didn't get really any training. My teacher got fired. Like we lost a teacher. Like I had like three different teachers over high school. So I like purely just loved doing what I loved acting, so that's why I pursued it. But that being said, no one taught me how to find a monologue. No one taught me how to pick one for me. So it was just it's been a learning experience. So like my first year here was really rough. I was in a out of the box show, but it
You
was
were
like,
wonderful in that.
thank you. But I did that and but like I've grown so much since doing that. Like the show I just closed was like I was really proud of that, and I think it was something that I was really like, I don't know, you just have to you have to learn and you have to like acknowledge the things that you need to improve on, and for me that's auditioning. So like I went and met with Lance uh after every audition, and Naomi, I'm sure you're the same way, and talk to the directors who are in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I went and talked to Lance like two semester ago, and he was like, come to me in November and I'll run the monologues with you. And I was like, great.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why I never have taken anyone up on that. So I went
Right.
and ran them with him, and it was so helpful. And I got I did really well callback wise with those. And I'm really excited for this next round because the two monologues I've chosen are the same ones I'm going to do for my jury as well. And they're ones that show off that I can do funny. They also show off I can do classical. And I think what it comes down to, like, also just the clothing you wear, like, you have to present yourself and you have to be aware of the things that are unique about you, um, to like, in order to do well, I think, at this school, especially because OC really values uniqueness. So if you're not really sure of who you are, then it's hard to be successful here just because they want what's they want what's special about you, and that's what they're looking for. Um, which can be hard when, the shows in the season maybe aren't ones that you fit in well. So it's just been a lot of learning for me since coming here, but um it's still something that really intimidates me auditioning, but I've gotten better at it. So yeah. And picking monologues.
That is one of my favorite things about the fact that they're doing the Rover is because, it fits in with Shakespeare because it is, right after Shakespeare stopped producing. And so it's in time with Shakespeare, but it is so much more female forward for obvious reasons. And I feel like that's the one thing with Shakespeare is you have a lot of badass women, but our badass women still don't have a lot of lines. And they still very rarely will start a play or have their stories dictate the play. So that
Yeah.
was really exciting for me was how many roles were there for women and how
Mhm.
big the roles were for the women.
Yeah, it's still been it's been a discussion here. And I mean, I know that the faculty is aware of it, so this isn't me like truth bombing or anything, but the lack of roles for women here, especially this past semester, it was bad. It was pretty bad. And like I know people close to me who have had meetings with faculty members to talk about show selection and how it can be more geared towards like who we have here.
That was
Um,
right.
who?
That was
Sorry.
Macklin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and which was really admirable to me because like it takes a lot of guts to go to your people that are casting things potentially and
And grading
you know
you. And yeah.
share what
Yeah.
share what you're not really liking about the environment. So
Mhm.
I we get our show lineup not next week but like in a couple weeks at School of Theater Convocation. So I'm really curious to see if that's been improved. But yeah, I mean, that's why the Rover made me really excited too, because it does have, I mean, it's a lot of guys still, but the women are driving the narrative and, you know, and
Yes.
that's what's important, I think.
I think that's great. It's the thing is it's pervasive though. OU has the exact same issue going on. I did an interview with a bunch of women who were so disheartened by the opportunity that existed. And so
Mhm.
they created their own they put on their own show. They found a coffee shop that would allow them to use their space and they put on their own production and it sold out every single night.
We
That's
Uh,
should do that.
awesome.
it
Wait.
was but it was so much fun and I got to go see one of their productions and it was creative and clever and I took my husband with me and for once he was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. Because usually he comes with me to
Wow.
Shakespeare and he's like, I didn't get it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
but you know, so it's almost like for a lot of the women actors out there, you're put into a position where you have to take so much more initiative. Oh, kind of
Yes.
sounds like Florinda. And Helena.
Yes. It's been, yeah, it's been tough to kind of think about it because you're like, I have to be, you know, so much better than the men here to be even considered, because of how little roles there are. And I mean, granted, like when I first started here, like I didn't know how to audition, I didn't know how to pick pieces that fit me, but I've gotten a lot better at it. And I'm really excited for this next audition, these next couple of years, because I have grown a lot, and I think that you just need to be aware of your strengths. But I mean, there's always going to be those things that you can't control, like the ratio of guys and girls in shows and whatnot. So you just
Mhm.
kind of have to. I mean, everyone says it's so subjective, and it really is. And but there's also so many things that you have to give yourself grace for, like some things that you can't control, you know?
Yeah. And that is also something that's really interesting because in the importance of being earnest, we had, you know, in the interview I was talking to two actors that were mirroring each other in the different performances.
My theater big is one of them.
Mm.
And so, one of the actors she was really tall. One of the actors was significantly shorter. And
Yes.
that idea of being really tall as a female, how does that impact your opportunity, the roles that you're offered because of,
Mhm.
how you size up against the male leads or how, so I think that's
Yeah.
also an element that we don't think about very often.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't say I have that
You
problem, but I feel like I have the opposite problem a lot of the times. I mean, it's even used as an example. I remember one time when I was in like Chekhov with Lance last year, he used this as an example. He was like, sometimes it's nothing, casting has nothing to do with you. It's something that you can't change. Like if we've already cast a 6'3" Romeo, we can't cast a 4'11" Juliet. And he looks right at me when he said that. And I
Oh
was
gosh.
like, I mean, so
Mm.
true. As someone who's often plays the same type of character, which is usually a really young, if not child, teenaged character. Something that I have had to come to terms with is not ever really getting to play that ingenue. So, like, not really ever getting to be the main love interest, because it's usually, there's a stage picture, and I get it. I 100% get it. Like, if you
It is
see
frustrating.
me and, like, I was looking at a show photo from when I was in Pillar of Fire with Theater Crude Fringe Festival this fall, and Gideon and I have, like, maybe one scene together, and he is a full 1.2 inches taller than me, and that stage picture is just which is interesting to think about, because we're actually waiting on a cast list to come out where we were called back for a husband and wife character. So I'm hopeful for that. But that will again have that interesting stage picture, and that's another thing that I'm like, sometimes there are just physical characteristics that you can't change, and it really sucks, but it has nothing to do with you as an actor or your talent as an actor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I was an athlete in college and in the drama department, and so I was always like the bitchy lesbian because I just was super muscular. And so I was always the bitchy lesbian, and I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I'm really good at this.
Yes,
You're like,
typecast.
hey.
Yeah, you
Hey.
would love Ashley Sampson. She keeps getting typecasted as lesbians, and she's straight, but every single role that she's ever played, even in our classes, like when we would do scene studies, she's always the lesbian. Yeah, she's like, I don't understand what it is about me, but that's my typecast. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Margaret.
I just did a show with her.
Yeah, yes.
And
right.
she's not confirmed, but you suspect.
Okay, I feel like that was really implied. Her and
really implied. She
and
never
your
is
mother.
like, yes.
I forget the name of your mother in that show.
Agnes.
I think or your birth mother.
Oh my gosh, it starts with an L.
Was it Lily?
No, it was like a unique name. It was weird.
Okay.
Lena,
anyway,
maybe? I don't know.
like they mentioned, like I feel like that was something implied. Like maybe they.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Didn't she say like men and women fell in love with her?
Yeah, and and then and she never is like, I'm not interested in you to Hannah. She's like, there's always other reasons.
He said, I'm too old for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, with that show in mind, would you say that your typecast also is like children and teenage young characters? Because I've seen you in this. I've seen you in the other Out of the Box show where you were also a teenager in high school. And then what else have you been in at OCU? I feel like you were...
That's it.
Okay.
And then I was a swing in children's hour.
Okay.
Where one of them was a younger, but then also one of the teachers, Karen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but honestly, it's been so interesting because, like, in high school, I pretty primarily played either moms, or I played, because of the group I was surrounded with, I'd play moms, or I'd play like ingenue, which is still something that I am good at playing, but like I'm like, I could never play a mom again. Like especially in this environment, and I mean, I'm pretty short, and I'm also like, I've kind of realized since being here, like I think my voice is mature, but like nothing else about me is giving, like, I just put myself against some of our peers, and I'm like, okay, if it was me and this person for like this woman who's seen it all, they're not going to pick me. Like, there's no way. So yeah, I think most of the time my typecast is like comic relief, ingenue, and then like teenager.
So we're literally the same.
Angsty.
We're literally twinning right now. Like, why we have the exact same typecast? Because I was gonna say, like teenage/child, and then like not ingenue, but like any just naive type of character. Or
I think this is a great opportunity for both of you, though, because like,
I know.
That's why I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
True that. Like this is, I mean, I would definitely say it still fits in the ingenue realm for you,
Sure.
Margaret. And but like
Mm,
Naomi, she is very ingenue. Like, yes, she is puckish, but she is a woman who knows what she wants and is
yeah,
willing to fight for it. She's a woman
yeah.
who is willing to create her own destiny, and she runs this play. And
Hmm.
that's like the description on OSP's website. I had to re-describe it for my podcast last week because it started with the man. It started with the Rover as Wilmore, and I was like, why are we starting with Wilmore?
Yeah, I thought you meant
Oh
the
my
character
gosh.
description for a second, but
But yeah,
yeah,
I was like,
I read
no.
that, and
You're
So
kind of like, oh,
there's a reason
yeah.
that it opens with the women.
I mean, and it's called The Rover.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, and that opening scene, I'm so glad that that is what the opening scene is. I feel like that's the epitome of girlhood right there. We're
well, and
just
I just
Hmm.
her
love
chatting it up.
Helena's vibe where she's like, "Oh, you're deceitful. I love that about you." like that's awesome.
I and
So true.
Florinda's so funny too, like, and she is like 5 times in the show where she's like, ha, like, like yes, she's like one of my favorite lines she says is like, I don't remember it word for word, but she's like, I'm still being chased, ha. It cracks me up. I'm like, girl, what? And then there's a part in the very beginning where she's like, I don't know, I think she's talking to Don Pedro, like her brother, and um she's like, I don't even know. I forget. But it's like, she's like, there's so many reasons why this would be the thing. I can't even think of them all. I don't even know what the
Well, she's
context
explaining
is.
why she should not marry.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny. It's funny. And I'm really excited to lean into that too, because I love being funny.
So
So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I
Yeah.
found
She's
this like I was pulling up my messages from when um we all got the email, the original email, because we could all see who the email was sent to. So I got this like DM from Gideon in all caps. It's like, guys, check your email. And then, because Gideon, Chris, Stone, and I were all in Pillar Fire together. So this is like also what.
a reunion of sorts.
Yeah, a reunion. Yes, a little cast reunion. We get to work together again. And I have this. I'm trying to find it. Okay, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but I have this message that's like, how I'm gonna feel after marrying the man who low-key cheated on me with a prostitute, but it's okay because he says he loves me. And then it's like a dancing, like, so
Oh
a
my
little dancing
gosh.
gif. Yeah. And then Stone's like, is that your character? And I said, yes. And he goes, that's terrible. I'm like, I
Oh
know, it's
my
so. There's
gosh.
also a scene where he literally says, listen, you're pretty and I love you, but I don't really do marriage. I'd rather just have sex. And then all of the reactions to this are like, oh my god, what is this show? This was
Well, on
yeah.
the other side of the spectrum, you have to think about the fact that she also says, I see you. I know exactly who you are. I am using you as much as you are using me to get what
Mm.
we want in our situations. Like,
It's like the taming of the shrew, but the taming of the rover. I got
yeah,
him. I
Mm.
got what I wanted.
Yes.
I wanted him to marry me, and I got that.
yeah.
So,
That's so fun because I have a Kate monologue in my arsenal, so
oh,
I just
Kate!
used it for like summer stock stuff. But I have one of my monologues for the auditions that are in 2 weeks. Which oh my gosh, I'm doing a Rosalind monologue from As You Like It, and I'm like, we're gonna channel all of that, like, you know,
Yeah.
you can't
Yes,
tell me what's what. So I'm really excited about
I
that.
love a girl boss. I still haven't chosen
Yeah.
my second monologue. I'm like, I know what I want the vibes to be, but as of right now, I only have one picked out.
Yeah, because they're both older shows, and then one's a comedy, and so
Yeah, and the way that they're doing Tale of Two Cities is very similar to the way they did It's a Wonderful Life radio play edition, where it's like you're cast as an actor who's switching into these roles.
yes, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm curious about that for
I
sure.
I haven't finished the script yet, but I finished Act 1, and yeah, definitely really interesting. And they break the fourth wall a lot in that. They're like, "Oh, am I this character now? Okay, got it." And like they all kind of act as a narrator for each other. Like, "Oh no, we're in the court now. Like, you got to sit down."
Yeah.
Very interesting. So definitely physical and vocal variety is what I'm gonna try to go for with this upcoming audition.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Margaret, I know you're on a tight schedule. Do you have a couple more minutes, or do I need to
Yeah.
help
I
you
have
run?
something at 2, but like I just have to change and run out the door. So
Perfect.
I have more time. Yeah.
Okay. So I just have a couple more questions. So one, I wanted to talk because, Naomi, I said I saw your AI rant the other day on Instagram where you were just all like, what are we doing?
Oh
Like I saw
gosh.
an entire production that was completely AI.
Yes.
And so as actors, as people who are pursuing this as your career, your livelihood, AI certainly it's a big risk. It's a big threat to that livelihood. So, what would you say in terms of how you all are kind of pushing back against that and how you think that my listeners, people who love theater, people who love film can push back against AI in art?
I think that within our generation, there has been a significantly huge pushback from within those of us who are doing the arts, especially because a lot of Gen Z and Gen Alpha who aren't in the arts use AI for and aren't really seeing a problem with it because we are the generation that knows how to use it and isn't always immediately fooled by AI things. But going to OCU, I've been very lucky. I think that we're all kind of on the same side of being anti AI here at this little liberal arts school. I think Margaret knows what I'm talking about when I say we had an incident at the beginning of the year where there was a lot of pushback with some AI being maybe accidentally used. I might as well just come out and say it on here. We don't need to beat around the bush. I'm just gonna say it. And if anyone who's listening to this who will take it the wrong way, maybe
I was like,
edit
maybe
out.
I don't want you to burn any bridges. So
Edit out what I just said.
Okay.
Okay, media trained. So what happened was the School of Theater Instagram account posted posters, essentially like a slideshow of posters for all of the shows that a lot of people realized seemed like they used AI to create this art. And immediately the comments came flooding in on this post. And it was not just people from OCU, it was graduates, alumni who are like in New York now as professional actors commenting, people from OU commenting. There was a couple verified people commenting on it who I assume were like maybe alumni of OCU. And especially a lot of people who like had previously run the social media account because it's like a work study thing within the School of Theater. And so we had a convocation to discuss that. And the way I understand it from the emails that they sent out was that they commissioned someone to create the posters, and that person unfortunately used AI. So I believe there was maybe 65 comments on that post before it was archived. And that, I think, is the start of us being like really united in anti-AI. But at the same time, I think that you also, when it comes to people who do like use generative AI, have to try to like be kind when you're addressing it and educate them rather than coming at it in an angry way, especially like at convocation, they mentioned that some of the freshmen who ran that account got scared that they were going to be targeted for posting and like being the one behind that AI post, which I mean is like obviously not okay. We don't want to like make anyone feel super attacked or scared. I don't think that's the best way to go about it. I think that educating people on the detriments of AI, especially generative AI in art, is just the best place to start. And what I would call for when it comes to companies using AI to put out these movies is a boycott. There are multiple companies that make these vertical films and they shoot at all the different studios, and like I don't know all of the names of the apps. Like one of them is Real Short and there's a bunch of different ones and they all kind of follow the same format where it's like the girl who is abused by her in-laws or her classmates or her coworkers, and then it turns out she's actually wealthy, so she doesn't deserve to be treated like that. That's the plot of all of these verticals, essentially. Or she's actually a super powerful werewolf, or she's actually whatever, right? And I saw this one that was, oh, she's the daughter of Zeus, and she is actually the good guy, but everyone thinks she's the bad guy and she's being framed. But the voices were AI, the actors were like, it was fully AI generated, and they were this like the backdrop, it was this AI backdrop. It was my
Marked
first
somehow?
time.
Is that marked somehow where like people who are watching these can identify that they're AI? How do
It's
you
supposed to be. I know, I saw it on TikTok and they're supposed to have a label at the bottom that says this is AI generated, but the thing is the creator has to go in and mark it as AI generated in order for that to pop up. So it'll say the creator marked this as AI generated. But if the creator doesn't want people to know that it's AI generated, then they won't do that. And unless TikTok gets a lot of reports about it, they're not going to go in and mark it as AI. They're just like not going to care about that. And it was really disheartening to see. That was my first time ever seeing a full movie made completely with generative AI. What do you
Yeah, I
think,
mean,
Mark?
there's a lot happening right now that's kind of,
Yeah.
both politically and in terms of AI, like it's kind of a,
I realized
a
I talked for a really long time. Sorry.
No,
Kinda-
girl, you're good.
yeah.
No, I mean, for me, it's just kind of like you would think that this would be one of the one things that would be safe from it, because art does rely so much on human touch and human experience and like the eye and everything, but it's not. It's been, there is that risk, and I think especially like writers and people who do set design and costume design, like those are the people that like I'm feeling for the most in this situation, because
Mm.
it it's for some people, I'm sure it's harder to justify paying someone to do it when you can just ask, a free browser to sketch, a costume for you or design a set for you.
great.
And it, save a buck. And that's disappointing and it's disheartening. But also, um, for me, I'm like, when there is AI in the like artistic experience, when you look at how much it's talked about and how much um, emphasis, how much it's um, fought back against by the community, that gives me some hope, because like it's not a casual thing at all. Like no one's I mean, I can't say the same for other fields or whatever, but no one's casually using AI in art. They may think they are, but it always strikes a chord with the um, theater community and the film community. So I think that I I think that the people that are fighting back against it are have much more behind them than the people that are using it. And like it's I don't think it's I mean, I think it's something we have to keep in mind and really um be conscious of, but I don't think it'll be something that will take over um the field just because of how many people in our community just don't enjoy it and don't agree with what it is.
Also, on that note, I know that there are a lot of like rules being passed within unions like SAG-AFTRA against
Yeah.
AI usage meant to like protect the artists, which I think is really important. And I agree. I think that that writers will be hurt the most by this as at the time that we're in right now, because
Mhm.
if you just generate a script with ChatGPT and then go in and edit it, like that'll be the first thing to go. People will notice if you do a full movie with AI actors, like
Yeah.
that is something that more people would be immediately against than having an AI written script.
Yeah.
And I think it's just horrible that it's stealing people's jobs, especially like you said, because humanity is such a big part of the art. I mean, how are you gonna have these stories with humans feeling human emotions and then they're not actually human?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's just there's a clear I mean, I just can't even wrap my head around ever preferring it just
No.
because like what the human experience brings to art that the emotion and the I've been here before, like that can't be reflected in a robot, or in like a series of commands to a robot. So I can't even wrap my head around. I can wrap my head around people using it for like, I don't know. I
Problem.
I I guess like I'm in a science class at school and we had a whole conversation about using AI in our careers, and I there's a finance major in my class and he talked about how he uses it, and it's very different than how we would ever fathom using it, because like for him um he uses a much more like, okay, compare and contrast approach, like what can it do and what can it do, and just kind of to expand upon what he's um doing with his homework or his assignments or whatever. But for us it's like there's really no room for it in our discipline, I think.
Yeah. And we hope.
We
That's the
please.
Knock on wood.
we hope. Okay, so
Yes, truly.
last question. A lot of people talk about the necessity of a thick skin to be an actor. And I think that's so interesting with what we've been talking about with auditions, what you were just talking about with the humanity of it all. Can you be a great actor and have a thick skin?
Oh, I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think that it's necessary. As someone who gets like I have an anxiety disorder. I gotta be honest, it's always those days leading up to the cast list. Like I get out of that
Oh
callback
yeah.
room and
I
then
get sick.
oh yeah, I
I
get
can't
sick. I
eat.
feel my heart like coming up like in my chest. And I know like I never used to like understand that expression, but yeah, ever since I've started getting more serious about acting and it's started to have more of like an impact on my future in a way. It's not just high school theater anymore. I'm doing professional shows. It's definitely very nerve-wracking, but I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing is, once that cast list comes out, you have to remember that it's not personal. A lot of the times, it's not even anything to do with you not having the amount of talent. It could be any number of factors. And being in an educational setting, we're always told that we're allowed to ask for feedback, which I think has been the most important and helpful thing for me is after every audition emailing the directors and being like, hey, can we set up a meeting? I'd love to know
Mm-hmm.
what I can improve on, because going into my senior year, I feel like I have learned so much from the audition process here, and the educational setting, and the way that they drill everything into us on how to act in the audition room, how to behave as a professional actor. I think that it's just really important to have that thick skin, and that's not to say don't feel upset, but to not take it personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't lie, for me, like that's been a big learning curve for me. And like I get distraught when I don't get cast in something. It really I take it to heart personally, and it's something that I'm having to get over and grow out of and everything. And I think it really just takes time, and it takes, getting those rejections or whatever to grow that thick skin. And so that's like a day by day process for me. I think that yeah, I think I also, you have to remind yourself that the way that auditioning works here is so different than how it works in the field. We're doing 2 monologues for like 5, 6, 7 shows a semester. We're auditioning for the same people every
Mm-hmm.
time. We don't do sides until the callback. And then versus the real world, you're auditioning constantly with sides geared towards a character for
Mm-hmm.
different people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never, you don't need to, I mean, for some you need to have a monologue in your back pocket, but a lot of the time for like film especially, you're reading sides. So
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, you're getting valuable experience from the kind of auditioning we do here, but it's also like you have to know it's very different in the professional
Absolutely. Yeah.
setting outside of school, um because you'll have so many other opportunities, and like you will still face, like, you face rejection. Like that's why so many people, you know start and then have to, give it up, that dream, because it is really, really, really hard. And I mean, it's been hard for me here, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
making my way, and I'm learning, and just again discovering what is unique
Yeah.
about me and what I can, market myself as. And but I think it's also, I mean, it's hard because our school is tiny, so it's like you're constantly comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
um
You have classes with the people who got the role over you. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's definitely tough. And but I mean, for me, yeah, it's a day by day thing, and I'm getting better at it. But it's hard not to be like, well, what do they not see in me? Like, did I do a bad job? But then, like, a lot of the times I go to professors, and it's sometimes it's like your audition could have been stronger or whatever. And then sometimes it's, you just didn't, there wasn't a character in the show that was like something that would
Yeah.
fit you.
I've
And
gotten
you
that
just
a
kind of have
lot.
to take it on the chin. Like, okay, I mean, I can't really do anything about that,
I
Yeah.
honestly prefer that. Like, I would rather hear,
Yeah.
like, oh, you had too many conflicts. Oh, the characters in the show, like, you just didn't fit any of them, over, oh, you weren't talented enough. Not that
Yeah.
that's what they would say, but I feel like
No,
that's,
yeah,
yeah, almost more comforting in a way.
for sure. For sure.
Mhm,
Sure, and it
mhm.
also depends on the view of the director, like what the director is looking for and what they see. That's why, like, what Lance said about you, Naomi, was just so funny to me, because I was like, when I heard you were in it, I was like, I wonder what role she's in. And then he was like, oh, Helena. And I was like,
Oh,
Helena? And then
he
he explained it,
pronounces
and I
it
was like,
Helen.
oh, makes perfect sense. Like, once he explained it, once he saw once he explained his vision, it made perfect sense. But again, it's all dependent upon the director's vision and what they kind of forecast for their production. So,
Yeah.
yeah. In addition to everything else. And so I am going to
Yeah.
say, though, as somebody who went from acting to writing, I don't know, maybe my skin is eternally not thick, but I'm not gonna say it ever gets easy. Like, getting rejections,
Mm-mm.
it's gonna suck every time, and ice
Mm.
cream is my best friend, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
need ice cream tonight. Like,
I
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah.
I think even, I mean, like I say, I've been here for 3 years now and I've learned so much, but that doesn't mean that I don't take stuff to heart, because I definitely still do without, and I know
Yeah.
that like I mean you shouldn't, and it's like, oh, it's not personal, but sometimes you just can't help those emotions coming out. Like last semester
Yeah.
I went through a little bit of a casting dry spell in like November, December, January, and I was like, I am going to crash out right now.
Mhm.
My friends were sick of hearing about it, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oof, I just am like, so I mean, I think I audition so differently to how I perform, and like I haven't been cast in a school of theater production yet, and that's
Well, this
been
one,
rough.
right?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
yes, same, but
Yeah,
not like studio main stage vibe. I've not
sure.
been cast in studio main stage. I mean I was a swing. I don't, but like I haven't performed in the Berg, I haven't performed in the Black Box, and
Sure.
but I
I
know that
haven't
I
confirmed in the Berg either. Hopefully
yeah,
the rest of her. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
but like I know I'm capable is the thing. So
Yeah.
it's just about like
Hmm.
remembering that and just
And
yeah.
every time you step
Yeah.
out, putting your best foot forward, which is like,
Yeah.
because you never know
Mhm.
who's going to see you. And that's what's so
Yeah.
exciting about even doing like a dramatic reading. So,
Yes,
you have
I'm so
3 nights where
excited.
you have the
Mhm.
opportunity for people to see you, both people who are directing shows at OSP, directing shows at other community theater
Mhm.
events. Like, so
Yeah.
OSP
getting
is doing auditions that week. Um,
Yeah.
I
I
think
for
emailed
the
them.
Tempest or for,
yes. For The Tempest and Julius Caesar, and
oh, they're
then
doing both.
Mhm.
yeah, and then their callbacks are like that Monday and Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, or Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I brought it
Yeah.
to Lance, and then he was like, "Oh well, if you get a callback, then yeah, we'll work it out for you to be able to miss."
He told you that?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
emailed him and he was like, just email them and ask like if you can figure something out with them and do it virtually. I
I
was like,
wonder. Well, I wonder
hmm.
if, because he said I'll talk to, I don't remember the name of, but whoever is, I guess, in charge of those auditions, and I wonder if that person wasn't willing to work with him, and that's why he
Because I
said
know
that.
David Weber is directing The Tempest. I don't know who's
Mm-hmm.
directing Julius Caesar.
Julius
But
Caesar.
also I'm like, I don't know if I could even if I got a role, I don't know if I could do it because I don't have housing here. So I'm like,
I plan to, if I get a role, take a summer RA job, and then
oh,
do some shifts. So then you live in Cokesbury for free. Otherwise
yeah.
you pay the $1,000 for the summer.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah. But I'm figuring it. I haven't signed up to audition yet. I emailed
And
them like last week and then I'm emailing them again. I emailed them again today,
yay!
just like, hey, following up. So if they give me the go ahead, I'll sign up to audition. But I don't want to audition and like get a call back and then not be able to do it because I'll get sad.
For sure, for sure. Yeah,
So
I'm gonna sign up because I
Yeah.
talked to Lance, and I feel like worst case scenario, I'll just be like, well, Lance said it was okay.
It
He
might
has
have
something
yeah.
on the
it
board
might have
there.
just been that, Margaret, you talked to him first, and so at that point he was like, oh, like, and then when Naomi talked to him, he was like, oh, this is becoming pervasive.
I'll
Okay, we'll figure out something for
Right.
everybody.
You
yeah.
should sign
I
up
might have
because
to
he told me to sign up. I was like, so I can sign. I should sign up, and he was like, yes. You should sign up.
okay.
And there's
Okay.
always like, it's such a great community. So even if
Yeah.
you don't get an RA job, like there's always potential to find housing amongst
Right.
friends, and
True. Yeah.
there's always people
So
who are
true.
willing to kind of put you up if necessary. It's a good community.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the Rover, I don't want to hold you up all night, but so it is opening up April 10th. It's an evening show on the 10th and the 11th, right? I think it's
Mm-hmm.
At
8
8.
p.m.
at 8 p.m. And then the matinee is on the 12th at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is a small indoor, very intimate space. There will be many asides to the audience, but don't worry, audience, you don't have to actually like get up or get in there. It's not that kind of
fun.
but there is a lot of interaction. It's a really fun space to be in, but it's also small. So get your tickets early so that you can see this, because it is, again, first professional female playwright. And I know we keep talking about how many times poor Florinda almost gets assaulted, but it is a cast of badass women written by a badass woman.
Yeah.
So I hope that as many of you get the chance to go see it as possible, because it's not one that you can see all the time. This is one that, you know, people dust off the shelves every once in a blue moon, but it should definitely be brought off the shelf more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I hadn't even heard of this playwright until I heard about the Rover. So,
Yeah, me neither.
That's okay. That's half of Oklahoma City. So I keep telling people, I'm like, go, go, go.
Come on.
It's good. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be amazing.
Come
Badass
see our
women,
show, please.
Badass women,
Please.
written by
Oh,
a badass woman.
There's gonna be charcuterie boards.
Ooh.
Yes.
Because it's like a staged reading. They're gonna be like out in the lobby. Yes.
That is so exciting.
So charcuterie, drinks, it'll be like a nice little evening out or afternoon out, depending on the
Get
day.
yourself something at the Mermaid Tavern.
Come on.
Fun for all.
Fun.
All right. So any other projects coming up other than this one, or is this our big one for now, and then we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks?
I may not be cast in this. I'm still waiting on the cast list to come out, but even if I'm not in it, people should still come see it. This murder mystery dinner theater play called Death by Chocolate that was written by a senior here who's doing it as her senior capstone, and it's being like produced alongside Out of the Box as a fundraiser for them, which Out of the Box is an organization here that does student produced, student directed plays, which is really exciting. And even if I'm not cast in it, knock on wood, I hope that people still come see it, because I've read the script and it's really fun and really exciting.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
April 25th and 26th, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. Follow Out of the Box on Instagram and they'll tell you. I don't remember.
I just finished a show I've been working on for the past couple of weeks, so nothing new for me. That's what I was doing, and then now we're working on this. So
very nice.
Yay.
Well, let me know if anything comes of the next round of auditions, and we can always talk again. But it was so much fun to have you both on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. I'm so excited.
I know. I wish I could see it, but being in Germany makes it a little difficult.
Man.
But
why did you move? Because last time I was on the podcast, it was in person here.
Yeah, so my husband got a job in Germany, and a job offer, and was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So yeah,
that's
the
so
political
fun.
scene. It's bad when a Jew says the political scene in Germany is better than the political scene in the U.S. But
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yeah. For real.
Thank you so much. I gotta go, but
just remember, everybody, all the world's a stage, and you too can be a shrew. Bye.
Bye.